For decades, Alcatraz was considered inescapable. A fortress built on a cold, rocky island in the middle of San Francisco Bay. The currents were strong, the water was freezing, and the guards believed no one could survive the swim. It wasn't just a prison. It was a final destination for the most dangerous and most escape-prone criminals in America. But in 1962, 3 men would challenge that belief. Frank Morris was different from most inmates. Highly intelligent, with an IQ reportedly above average, he had already escaped from other prisons before being sent to Alcatraz. Prison officials believed the island would finally contain him. They were wrong. Brothers John and Clarence Anglin were also sent to Alcatraz after repeated escape attempts. They were known for working well together, quiet but determined. When these 3 men met inside the prison walls, something began to form a plan. Alcatraz cells were small, bare, cold. But there was one weakness. Behind each cell's sink was a small ventilation duct. The openings were tiny, too small for a man to crawl through, but the walls surrounding them were old and crumbling from years of moisture and salt air. Using stolen spoons from the prison cafeteria, Morris began slowly chipping away at the concrete, night after night, inch by inch. To mask the sound, the men played music during recreation hour. The prison allowed inmates to play instruments, a small privilege that would become their cover. Over months, the holes grew wider. But they needed more than just an opening. In the unused space above their cells was a hidden utility corridor. If they could reach it, they could move across the cell block unseen. But the guards conducted nightly bed checks. Every inmate had to appear asleep. So the men crafted something chilling. They sculpted dummy heads from soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, and bits of concrete dust. They painted them using art supplies from the prison workshop. Then, they collected real human hair from the barber shop and glued it to the heads. In the dark, under a blanket, the dummies looked real. Meanwhile, the men gathered over 50 raincoats. They stitched them together using prison-issued tools and heat-sealed the seams with steam pipes. Slowly, carefully, they built a makeshift raft and life vests. Everything was hidden above the cells. June 11, 1962. The night was cold, quiet, perfect. One by one, Morris and the Anglin brothers placed their dummy heads in their beds. They squeezed through the widened vent holes, climbed into the utility corridor, moved silently across the prison roof. They slid down a kitchen vent pipe to the shoreline. And then, they were gone. The next morning, guards discovered the empty cells. The dummy heads stared back at them. Panic spread across the island. The FBI launched a massive investigation. Boats searched the bay. Helicopters scanned the water. Authorities believed the icy currents would have killed them within minutes. But no bodies were ever found. Days later, pieces of the raincoat raft were discovered floating in the bay. A homemade paddle, fragments, but nothing conclusive. The official conclusion: the men drowned. Case closed. But not everyone believed that. The Anglin brothers had grown up swimming in cold waters. Some experts later argued that the currents that night may have actually carried them toward shore, not out to sea. In 2013, decades later, a letter surfaced. It claimed to be written by Frank Morris. In it, the writer said he had survived, that all 3 men made it to land, that he was alive and battling cancer. The FBI tested the letter. The handwriting was inconclusive. The case was reopened briefly, then closed again. To this day, the United States Marshals Service still lists the escape as an open case. No confirmed deaths, no confirmed survival, just 3 men who vanished into the night. Did they drown in the freezing waters? Did they make it to Brazil, as some family photos suggest? Or did they live quiet lives under new identities? Alcatraz stands today as a museum. Tourists walk past the cells. They see the vent holes, the fake heads, the escape route, and they all ask the same question. How did 3 men escape the most secure prison in America and leave behind nothing but a mystery?